You know, it's funny, right? We always hear about like super complex AI, like
Yeah.
ChatGPT writing those movie scripts
Right.
or self-driving cars, like navigating traffic. But the roots of all that, the roots of AI go way back
Really far.
to this program from the 1960s called ELIZA.
Oh, wow. The 60s.
ELIZA was basically, I guess you could call it a chatbot,
Okay.
but the story of ELIZA is anything but basic.
I'd believe that.
So in this deep dive, we're going to explore ELIZA.
Sounds good.
We're going to look at how something so simple could make people think it was, like, intelligent.
Okay.
And what ELIZA's story can teach us about the AI that we interact with every single day.
That's a great point. It's everywhere now.
All right, so to kick things off,
Yeah.
what exactly was ELIZA?
So ELIZA was the world's first chatbot,
Okay,
created way back in 1966 by Joseph Weizenbaum
okay.
at MIT.
Yeah.
And it wasn't designed to be some super intelligent system.
Right.
Like, it was really just to kind of dip its toes into this idea of natural language processing.
Okay.
So how a computer could mimic human conversation.
Wait, so people were trying to get computers to chat back in the 60s?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know, right?
But how did it work? Like, how did it actually work?
Well, imagine those, like, choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Where you pick a path based on, like, certain words you see.
Okay.
ELIZA was kind of like that. So it didn't actually understand what you were saying, but
Right.
it used a system of pattern matching and substitution rules to come up with responses.
Interesting.
And one of its most famous scripts was called Doctor.
Oh, okay.
And it was designed to simulate a Rogerian psychotherapist.
So a chatbot therapist.
Pretty much.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
Yeah.
So let's say, like, I typed in, I feel sad. What would ELIZA say back to me?
Oh, it might say something like, why do you feel sad?
Oh, interesting.
So it's basically just reflecting your statement back as a question, just to keep you talking.
Right.
Pretty simple technique, but surprisingly engaging for a lot of people.
Okay, so people knew that ELIZA wasn't a real person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did anyone really believe that it was actually intelligent?
That's the crazy part.
Really?
Even though people knew it was a program, a lot of them reported feeling genuinely understood by ELIZA.
Wow.
They would share really personal things,
Oh, wow.
like pour their hearts out to this chatbot.
Wow, that's crazy.
Even Weizenbaum himself was surprised by how intensely people were reacting.
So it, like, tricked people into thinking it was a therapist?
Not tricked exactly, but
Okay.
it kind of triggered something in them.
Right.
And this is actually what we call the ELIZA effect.
Okay.
It's this tendency we have to, like, project these human-like qualities onto machines, especially if they, seem to be acting intelligently.
So even though we know it's a machine, we sort of give it the benefit of the doubt and see intelligence where there isn't any.
Yeah. Like, we're filling in the blanks
Okay.
with our own assumptions about what intelligence looks like.
Right.
And ELIZA, with its structured, like, human-like responses, it tapped right into that.
Right.
It highlights how easily our perceptions can be influenced by even the simplest forms of technology.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how attached people get to, like, video game characters.
Oh, for sure.
Or how we talk to our smart speakers like they're real people sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
It's, like, kind of a natural thing to do.
Exactly. It's like our brains are, like, primed
Yeah.
to look for patterns and meaning.
Right.
And ELIZA's ability to mimic human conversation, even in a basic way, like, really played into that.
Right.
It's a good reminder that the way we perceive AI isn't always, like, rational or objective.
So we've established that ELIZA was simple.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bit of a parlor trick, you know?
Yeah.
But it had this unexpectedly big impact, right?
Huge.
Why was it so influential, especially considering it had these limitations?
Well, ELIZA's influence comes from, I guess, like, a few key factors.
Okay.
The first one is our natural tendency to anthropomorphize.
Okay.
So that's giving human traits to objects, especially ones that, like, exhibit behaviors we link with intelligence.
Right. Like, I'm totally guilty of that.
I think we all are.
I've had full-blown arguments with my GPS.
Yeah. About which route's better.
Yes. About which route is better. Like, it's crazy.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
And ELIZA, with those structured responses,
Yeah.
It fed right into that tendency.
Okay.
Even though it was just following simple patterns, it was enough to make people feel like they were interacting with something sentient.
Yeah, it's like our brains are hardwired to find patterns
Totally.
and make connections,
Yeah.
even where they might not actually exist.
Exactly. That's a key point. And actually brings us to the second reason behind the ELIZA effect, which is the power of surface interactions.
Okay.
Think of it like a magic trick.
Okay.
We know it's an illusion,
Right.
but the presentation is so convincing that it, like, fools our senses.
So it's like we're impressed by the trick, even though we know it's not real magic.
Exactly. ELIZA was kind of similar. It wasn't capable of, like, deep understanding.
Right.
But its responses were cleverly crafted to create this illusion of intelligence.
So it's not just about our tendency to anthropomorphize, right?
Yeah.
It's also about how our brains, like, interpret information.
Right.
And how easily we can be swayed by appearances.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
And that leads us to the third reason behind the ELIZA effect.
Okay.
This deep human desire for connection.
Okay.
So many people were drawn to ELIZA because it gave them this sense of being heard and understood,
Okay.
especially if they were looking for, like, support or someone to listen to.
You know, it makes you wonder if part of the ELIZA effect,
It's about our own willingness to believe,
Mm-hmm.
our hope that maybe, just maybe, this machine could understand us in a way that other humans don't.
It's possible. That's a really profound point.
Yeah.
ELIZA shows us that our interactions with technology are about more than just the tech itself.
Right.
It's about our psychology, our longings, and how those things shape our perceptions of the world around us.
So ELIZA was more than just a simple chatbot.
Way more.
It was like a catalyst that sparked these conversations about our relationship with technology, even way back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But like any technology,
Right.
ELIZA had its limitations, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't exactly a flawless masterpiece of AI.
Right. It's important to remember that ELIZA was essentially a very clever trick.
Okay.
It couldn't handle complexity or ambiguity or genuine understanding.
So if you tried to dive into, like, a really nuanced topic,
Yeah.
the illusion would kind of shatter pretty quickly.
You hit a wall.
All right.
It was more like a mirror, you know?
Reflecting back your words
Right.
than like a true conversational partner.
So ELIZA was like a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Like, it showed what might be possible with human-computer interaction, but not the final destination.
That's a great way to put it. ELIZA paved the way for the more sophisticated systems we have today, you know?
Right, right, right.
But its story's a vital part of AI history.
It's fascinating that something created over 50 years ago
I know.
could still have so much relevance to the AI we use today.
Well, and that's the beauty of ELIZA's legacy. It wasn't just about the technology itself, right?
Yeah.
It was about the questions it raised, those ethical considerations, the psychological impact of human-machine interactions.
And those are questions we're still grappling with today as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely.
It's like ELIZA gave us a glimpse into the future
Yeah.
and warned us to proceed with caution.
Exactly. ELIZA's story reminds us that technological advancements aren't without their consequences, you know?
Right.
We need to be mindful of the potential impact on our lives, our relationships, and, like, our understanding of what it means to be human.
So ELIZA wasn't just a chatbot.
Yep.
It was a pioneer, a trailblazer, a warning sign, and a reminder that even the simplest technologies can have ripple effects far beyond what their creators might have imagined.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
ELIZA's story shows us that we need to approach AI with a sense of curiosity, but
Yeah.
also with a healthy dose of skepticism.
So it's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
Embracing the possibilities, but also being aware of the potential pitfalls.
And that's a balance we need to find as we continue to explore this fascinating
Yeah.
and ever-evolving world of artificial intelligence.
So ELIZA planted a seed,
It did.
and from that seed grew this whole forest of AI innovation.
Right.
What were some of the key developments that followed in ELIZA's footsteps?
Well, ELIZA inspired, like, a whole wave of research in natural language processing.
Okay.
And one of the first systems to kind of build upon ELIZA's foundation was Perry.
Harry.
Yeah. It was developed in the early 1970s
Okay.
by Kenneth Colby, a psychiatrist at Stanford University.
Okay.
And Perry was interesting because it was designed to simulate a person with paranoid schizophrenia.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a very specific goal.
it is.
How did Perry differ from ELIZA?
Well, Perry was definitely a step up in terms of complexity.
Okay.
It was designed to have a more developed personality
Okay.
and could engage in conversations that felt more nuanced and, like, believable
Gotcha.
than Eliza's kind of scripted responses.
So it's like Eliza went to therapy
Uh-huh.
and came back with a whole new set of conversational skills.
That's a great way to put it.
Ah,
Perry showed that chatbots could go beyond simple pattern matching
okay.
and start to simulate more complex psychological states.
It's interesting how many of these early chatbots were modeled after therapists or people with like specific psychological conditions.
It is interesting.
It's like AI was being used as a tool to understand the human mind itself.
That's a really sharp observation.
Yeah.
AI and psychology have always had this close connection,
Yeah, right.
both trying to understand how the mind works,
Mhm.
how we think, how we learn,
Right, yeah.
how we
yeah.
connect with the world around
Like
us.
two sides of the same coin,
Yeah.
each informing the other.
Yeah. But let's get back to our AI timeline.
Okay.
What came after Perry?
Yeah. What was next?
Well, the 1980s saw the emergence of systems like Jabberwacky,
Jabberwacky.
created by Rolla Carpenter.
Yeah.
And unlike Eliza and Perry,
Okay.
Jabberwacky was designed with a different goal. It was about simulating natural human conversation
Okay.
in a way that was entertaining and engaging.
So it was less about therapy
Right.
and more about just having like a fun chat.
Exactly. Jabberwacky was all about creating a chatbot that could, hold your attention, make you laugh,
Okay.
carry on a conversation that felt natural and spontaneous.
That's a fascinating shift.
Yeah.
It seems like the goals of chatbot development were starting to evolve.
They were.
It wasn't just about mimicking human intelligence anymore. It was about creating systems that could be like fun to interact with,
Right.
that could provide companionship or entertainment.
That shift was a real turning point in AI history.
Yeah.
It was a move away from, like, strictly academic pursuits
Okay.
and toward more practical applications for chatbots in the real world.
It's like chatbots were breaking free from the lab
Yeah.
and stepping into pop culture,
Really.
becoming more accessible and relatable to everyday people.
You're absolutely right. And that trend continued into the 1990s
Okay.
with the arrival of ALICE,
Alice.
which stands for Artificial Linguistic Internet-Computer Entity.
Alice. That name rings a bell.
Does it?
Wasn't that the chatbot that was like supposed to have passed the Turing test?
You're probably thinking of Eugene Guzman.
Oh, okay.
That was a chatbot that made headlines in 2014 for convincing some judges that it was a 13-year-old boy from Ukraine.
Oh, right.
But Alice was a big step toward that.
Well-
It was created by Richard Wallace
Okay.
and used a more advanced natural language processing technique called AML, or Artificial Intelligence Markup Language.
So Alice was like ELIZA 2.0
Yeah,
with some serious linguistic upgrades.
exactly.
Yeah.
Alice showed that chatbots could have more complex and nuanced conversations.
Right.
It even won several awards in chatbot competitions,
Wow.
which further fueled interest in this area of AI development.
It's amazing how those chatbot competitions like spurred innovation. It's like the AI equivalent of the Olympics,
Totally.
with developers from around the world vying for the gold in conversational skills.
It's a great analogy. Those competitions created this sense of excitement
Right.
and encouraged developers to push the boundaries of what was possible with chatbots.
It's like healthy competition can drive progress,
Yeah.
even in the world of AI.
Right. But let's not forget about the big game changer,
Yeah.
the rise of the virtual assistants.
Right.
When did those enter the picture?
Yeah, when did that happen?
Well, in the early 2000s, we saw the rise of chatbots like Smarter Child,
Okay.
which you could chat with on platforms like AOL Instant Messenger and MSN Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
And Smarter Child could, give you weather updates, answer trivia questions,
Okay.
even tell jokes.
So it was like having a digital buddy
Mm-hmm.
who's always down for a chat
Yeah.
or a quick dose of information.
Exactly. It's really amazing how far chatbots had come
Right.
since Eliza's debut.
Yeah.
But the real revolution started in 2010
Okay.
with the arrival of Siri,
Siri.
Apple's voice-activated virtual assistant built right into the iPhone.
Siri was a game changer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we could talk to our phones, ask questions,
Yeah.
get directions, send messages,
Yeah.
all with our voice. It felt like magic straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Siri was a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
It brought together several key technologies: natural language processing, speech recognition, machine learning,
Yeah.
all culminating from, decades of research and development. It truly ushered in a new era of human-computer interaction.
It's amazing to think that we can now have these natural, intuitive conversations with our devices.
Oh, I know, right?
But Siri was just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Right, totally.
The world of AI has just kept evolving at an astonishing pace.
Oh, yeah.
So Siri opened the floodgates.
It did.
And it seems like every tech company is now racing to create the most advanced and capable virtual assistant.
Yeah, it's a digital arms race.
Right.
With companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft all vying for dominance in this new frontier.
And the best part is, we, the users, get to benefit from all this innovation.
Exactly. Virtual assistants have become like indispensable tools woven into our smartphones, our smart homes, even our cars.
Right.
And they're just getting smarter and more personalized all the time.
It's exciting.
It is.
And a little bit overwhelming. To think about how much AI has already permeated our lives,
Right.
and with systems like ChatGPT, which can generate like human quality text
I know.
and carry on these complex conversations, the future of AI feels full of promise and maybe a bit of uncertainty too.
That's the paradox of AI.
Yeah.
It has this potential to revolutionize, countless aspects of our lives.
Right.
From healthcare to education to entertainment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it also raises those serious ethical and societal questions
Right.
that we need to address.
It's a reminder that we're not just passive spectators in this AI revolution.
No.
We're active participants.
Oh, yeah.
And we have this responsibility to shape the future of this technology
Mhm.
in a way that benefits all of humanity.
I couldn't agree more. It's not about fearing AI, but about using it wisely, ethically, and with a clear understanding of its potential impact on our world.
But before we get like too deep into those big questions,
Okay.
let's bring it back to ELIZA for a moment.
I think that's a great idea. ELIZA's story is the perfect starting point,
Yeah.
for understanding the complexities of AI and its impact on our lives.
So in the next part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
we'll unpack the ELIZA effect in more detail, exploring its psychological roots and its relevance in today's world,
Sounds good.
where AI is becoming increasingly ubiquitous.
It's going to be a fascinating exploration of how this seemingly simple chatbot from the 1960s continues to shape our understanding of AI and its potential to both captivate and deceive us.
It's crazy
It is.
that something so basic could have such a lasting impact.
It's pretty amazing. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of ELIZA.
It's amazing to think that a chatbot from the 1960s could still have so much to teach us about our relationship with technology.
ELIZA's story is a timeless one,
Right.
It highlights how our perceptions shape our interactions with technology, even when that technology is relatively simple.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit.
Tech.
We've talked about ELIZA's historical significance and its impact on AI. But now I kind of want to unpack the ELIZA effect itself.
Okay.
Like, what's actually happening in our brains when we start attributing human qualities to machines?
Yeah.
Even when we know they're just machines.
It's a question that has fascinated researchers for decades.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
Is it just like one thing?
No, it's not just one thing.
Okay.
It's a complex interplay of different psychological mechanisms.
Okay, so multiple things going on.
Right. Let's break down some of the key contributors,
Okay.
starting with anthropomorphism.
Anthropomorphism.
Yeah, this is our natural tendency to give human characteristics to non-human things,
Yeah.
like animals, objects,
Right.
or in this case, machines.
We've all been there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Talking to our pets, like, they understand every word, naming our cars, even yelling at our computers when they're acting up.
Exactly.
It's like we can't help but project those human qualities onto the things around us.
And there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Our brains are wired for pattern recognition. We're always searching for familiar shapes, sounds, behaviors.
Right.
And when we see something that even slightly resembles human behavior,
Yeah.
our brains tend to jump to the conclusion that there must be a human-like mind behind it.
So it's like our brains are filling in the blanks, creating a story that makes sense to us,
Yeah.
even if that story isn't completely accurate.
Exactly. And ELIZA, with its structured responses mimicking human conversation,
Yeah.
played right into that tendency.
Right.
Even though it was just following simple rules,
Right.
it was enough to trigger our anthropomorphic instincts.
It's amazing how easily we can be fooled, even when we know intellectually that we're interacting with a machine.
Right.
There's this part of us that wants to believe, that wants to connect.
That's the heart of the ELIZA effect,
Okay.
Taps into our deep-seated desire for connection and understanding.
Okay.
We want to be heard to feel like someone gets us.
Right.
And sometimes we find that in unexpected places.
Yeah.
Even in machines that are just designed to simulate conversation.
It's almost like we're projecting our own desires
Mhm.
onto those machines, hoping that they can fulfill a need
Yeah,
that's not being met elsewhere in our lives.
that's a really interesting point, and it's
Mm-hmm.
something that AI developers are very aware of.
Okay.
They know that creating systems that can mimic human behavior
Right.
can create a strong sense of connection
Right.
and engagement with users.
It's a fascinating and slightly unsettling thought.
It is.
Like we're blurring the lines between humans and machines,
Yeah,
and we're not quite sure where that's going to lead us.
exactly. The
Yeah.
ELIZA effect raises profound questions about the nature of intelligence, the capabilities and limits of technology,
Right?
and the future of our relationship with machines. It's a lot to think about.
It really is. It's like ELIZA gave us this early warning sign telling us to be cautious
Yeah.
as we venture deeper into the world of AI.
I like that analogy. Eliza's story is a cautionary tale, reminding us that even simple technologies can have profound and unanticipated consequences.
Right.
It encourages us to be mindful and think critically about the implications of AI as it advances.
So the ELIZA effect isn't just some psychological quirk.
Yo.
It's a reminder that we're all part of this grand experiment figuring out what it means to be human
Mm-hmm.
in a world where machines are becoming increasingly intelligent.
We're all on this journey together, for better or worse.
Yeah.
And Eliza's story reminds us that we need to approach this journey with both enthusiasm and a healthy dose of critical thinking.
We've talked a lot about anthropomorphism,
We have.
but you mentioned earlier that there are other factors that contribute to the ELIZA effect.
Right.
What are those?
Well, another key factor is our tendency to get caught up in surface interactions.
Okay.
We often judge intelligence based on how something looks or sounds, rather than its actual capabilities.
Oh, like judging a book by its cover.
Exactly.
We see a machine that can string together sentences that sound like human language.
Right.
And we assume it must be intelligent.
Yeah.
Even if it's just following a set of pre-programmed rules.
Exactly. Eliza's programming was clever in that it could mimic the patterns of human conversation.
Right.
It wasn't actually understanding anything,
Right.
but it could respond in a way that felt appropriate to the context.
Okay.
And for a lot of people, that was enough to create the illusion of intelligence.
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
We know there's a trick,
Right.
but we can't quite figure out how it's done, so we're left feeling impressed
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit fooled.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
The ELIZA effect is like a form of technological sleight of hand.
Right.
It shows how clever programming can create the illusion of intelligence, even when that intelligence isn't really there.
So it's not just anthropomorphism at play.
No.
It's also about how our brains process information,
Mm-hmm.
how we make snap judgments based on limited evidence,
Right.
and how we're drawn to things that feel familiar and easy to understand.
You've hit the nail on the head. The ELIZA effect demonstrates the power of our perceptual biases
Right.
and how those biases influence the way we interact with technology.
So how do we avoid falling into the trap of the ELIZA effect?
Yeah.
How do we become more discerning, more critical in our interactions with AI?
That's the million-dollar question, and
Yeah.
honestly, there's no easy answer.
Okay.
But one important step is simply being aware of the ELIZA effect,
Okay.
understanding the psychology behind it.
So knowledge is power.
To a certain extent, yes.
The more we understand about how our brains work and how AI is designed,
Right.
the better equipped we are to navigate this complex landscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about approaching AI with a healthy dose of skepticism, questioning our assumptions, and not taking things at face value.
It's like that old saying, trust but verify.
Yeah.
We need to be open to the possibilities of AI,
Right.
but we also need to be critical thinkers,
Mm.
constantly evaluating the evidence.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot between embracing innovation
Yep.
and being aware of the potential pitfalls.
Okay.
It's about being informed and engaged users of technology.
Okay, so we need to be aware of the ELIZA effect and
Uh-huh.
approach AI with a critical eye.
Right.
But how do we apply those lessons to the world we live in today? I mean, AI is everywhere now,
It is.
from our phones to our homes to our cars.
Yeah.
Is the ELIZA effect still something we need to worry about?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Even with all the advances in AI technology.
Really? Why is that?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
AI systems are infinitely more sophisticated now
Right.
than they were back then.
Right.
But we humans,
Yeah.
we haven't really changed that much.
Okay.
We're still susceptible to the same psychological tricks.
Oh, wow.
the same perceptual biases that made ELIZA so effective.
So you're saying that even though AI has made these massive leaps forward, we're still falling for the same old illusions.
In many ways, yes. We're still prone to anthropomorphize, to judge intelligence based on surface appearances, to crave connection and understanding,
Yeah.
even from machines.
Right.
And AI developers are becoming increasingly skilled
Oh, wow.
at exploiting those tendencies.
So even with all our advancements in natural language processing, machine learning, and artificial intelligence,
yeah,
we're still human.
at our core.
And that means we're still vulnerable to the ELIZA effect.
It's both humbling and a little bit alarming.
It is. It's both humbling and a little bit alarming.
But it's also a powerful reminder that we can't just blindly trust technology no matter how advanced it seems.
Right.
We need to stay informed, to engage in critical thinking, and to have open and honest conversations
Yeah.
about the potential impact of AI on our lives and our society.
It sounds like ELIZA's story isn't just a historical anecdote.
It's not.
It's a timeless lesson, a cautionary tale that's more relevant now than ever before.
Absolutely.
It's like this ancient myth that's whispering to us,
Yeah,
warning us about the dangers of hubris and the importance of self-awareness.
that's a beautiful way to put it. ELIZA's story reminds us that even the simplest creations can have profound and lasting effects.
Right.
It's a call to action for all of us to be mindful, to be thoughtful,
Yeah.
and to approach AI with a sense of wonder and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling more aware, maybe even a little bit skeptical.
Good.
But where do we go from here?
Right.
How do we use this knowledge, this awareness of the ELIZA effect to navigate the increasingly complex world of AI?
That's a great question, and it's one that we'll explore in more detail in our next segment.
But for
now, I'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
The key to harnessing the power of AI
Yeah.
while avoiding its pitfalls
Right.
lies in understanding ourselves, our own psychology,
Okay.
the ways in which our minds interact with technology.
It's like the ancient Greek aphorism, know thyself.
Exactly.
We need to understand our own biases, our own tendencies, our own vulnerabilities in order to navigate this new world of intelligent machines.
Exactly. It's about being aware of our own minds.
Right.
As much as we're aware of the technology we're interacting with,
Okay.
it's about finding that balance between technological innovation and human wisdom,
Right.
between the power of algorithms and the irreplaceable value of human intuition and understanding.
And that's a balance we'll continue to explore
We will.
as we delve deeper into the implications of the ELIZA effect in our next segment.
It's going to be fascinating.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite a journey, right?
For sure.
Exploring this world of ELIZA and the ELIZA effect.
It has been fascinating, I think, to kind of trace that evolution
Right.
of chatbots from those early days to the, sophisticated AI systems we have today.
And now it's time to kind of tackle the big question here.
Okay.
What does ELIZA's story teach us about the ethics of artificial intelligence?
Well, ELIZA might have been a simple program, but its legacy raises these really profound questions about the responsibilities we have as creators of increasingly intelligent machines.
It's like ELIZA gave us this early glimpse into the potential of AI,
Yeah.
but also kind of a warning
Right.
about the potential pitfalls.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives,
Right.
we need to be mindful of the ethical implications.
So let's dive into those ethical considerations.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges we face as we create these AI systems that are capable of human-like conversation?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges is the potential for deception.
Okay.
As AI systems become more sophisticated,
Right.
it becomes easier for them to kind of blur the lines
Okay.
between human and machine.
So the ELIZA effect on a whole new level.
Exactly.
Okay.
Imagine a world where you can't tell if you're talking to a real person or a machine.
Right.
That could have some, serious implications for trust and social interaction.
Right. That makes sense.
So we need to think carefully about transparency
Okay.
and make sure that users are always aware they're interacting with the machine.
So no more smoke and mirrors.
Right.
No more pretending that the AI is something it's not.
Exactly. We need to be upfront about the capabilities and limitations of AI systems,
Right.
and empower users to make informed choices.
It's about respecting people's autonomy.
Yeah.
Giving them the information they need to navigate this new technological landscape.
Transparency is essential for building trust and ensuring that AI is used ethically.
Okay, so transparency is a good starting point.
Yeah.
What else do we need to consider?
Well, accountability is another crucial factor.
Okay.
We need to establish clear lines of responsibility for the actions of AI systems.
So if an AI system makes a mistake or causes harm,
Yeah.
who's to blame?
That's a question that's still being debated,
Okay.
but it's crucial that we have mechanisms in place to address any, ethical lapses in AI development or deployment.
That makes sense. Like if a car malfunctions
Yeah.
and causes an accident, we can trace that problem back to the manufacturer or the driver.
Right.
We need kind of similar systems of accountability for AI.
It's about making sure that someone is responsible for the decisions and actions of AI systems.
Okay, so we've got transparency,
Yep.
accountability.
Yeah.
What other ethical considerations are there?
Well, bias is a big one.
Okay.
So AI systems are trained on data.
Right.
And if that data reflects existing societal biases,
Yeah. Yeah.
the AI system will likely perpetuate those biases.
So if, like, an AI system is trained on data that primarily comes from, one demographic group,
Right.
it might make decisions that are unfair
Yeah,
or discriminatory towards other groups.
exactly. We need to be very intentional
Yeah.
about using diverse and representative data sets to train AI systems.
Okay.
And we need to have mechanisms in place to, detect and mitigate bias.
So it's about creating AI systems that are fair, equitable, and inclusive.
That's the goal. We want AI to be a force for good in the world,
Right.
not a tool that reinforces existing inequalities.
Okay, we've covered transparency, accountability, and bias.
Yep.
Those are some pretty weighty ethical considerations.
Yeah.
They are. Anything else we should be thinking about?
Well, one more issue that, comes up a lot is the potential impact of AI on employment.
Okay.
As AI systems become more capable,
Right.
they're likely to automate many jobs
Right.
that are currently done by humans.
Yeah, that's a concern I think a lot of people have. It's like the robots are coming to take our jobs.
It's a valid concern,
Right.
and one we need to address, proactively.
Okay.
We need to think about ways to help people adapt to the changing job market
Right.
and to create new opportunities.
Maybe AI can help us create new kinds of jobs or free up humans to focus on tasks that require creativity and critical thinking.
Exactly. AI has the potential to reshape the way we work and live.
Right.
But we need to be thoughtful about how we manage that transition.
It's not just about the technology itself,
Yeah.
right? It's about how we as a society adapt to those changes.
That's an important point. We need to have these conversations now so we can create a future where AI benefits everyone.
This has been a really insightful conversation.
It has.
I think it's clear that the ethical considerations surrounding AI are complex
They are.
and multifaceted.
It's not just about preventing a robot uprising.
Right.
It's about ensuring that AI is used in a way that's responsible
Right.
and aligned with human values.
So where do we go from here? What can we do as individuals to ensure that AI is used ethically?
I think the most important thing is to stay informed and engaged.
Okay.
Read about AI, learn how it works, and participate in conversations about its impact on society.
We can't just leave it up to the experts, right?
Right. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
And we need to be willing to ask tough questions, challenge assumptions, and hold developers accountable.
It's about being proactive.
Yeah.
And using our voices to advocate for responsible AI development.
That's how we can create a future where AI is a force for good in the world.
Well said. It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of ELIZA and the ELIZA Effect.
It really has.
From a simple chatbot created over 50 years ago, we've uncovered this treasure trove of insights about human psychology, technological advancement,
Right.
and the ethical challenges of artificial intelligence.
ELIZA's story is a timeless reminder that even the simplest creations can have a profound impact on the world.
And it's a call to action for all of us to be mindful, thoughtful, and engaged
Right.
as we navigate this exciting and uncharted territory of artificial intelligence.
I couldn't agree more. It's been a pleasure exploring these topics with you.
Likewise.
And I hope our listeners have found this deep dive informative and thought-provoking.
Me too.
As always, we encourage you to check out the show notes for links to further resources and to share your thoughts and insights with us on social media.
We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yes.
and keep the conversation going.